This adventurous story begins by showing the snowy mountains, which were home to a giant creature. This creature was so huge that anyone who tried to come near the mountain was terrified. People believed that anyone who ventured close to that mountain would be devoured alive by the monster. The surrounding villages were filled with fear of this creature. Many believed that this dangerous beast had been sent by the devil to gradually wipe out all humans. Now, we are shown a kingdom located near this mountain, where a king ruled. Although the king had everything, his daughter, named Christine, had been cursed. The curse was that if she didn't marry before turning 18, the terrifying creature from the mountain would come and kill her. Therefore, the king wanted to arrange her marriage before her 18th birthday. The king had already arranged a marriage for her with a prince from another kingdom, but Christine did not like the prince at all. She told her father that she didn't want to marry anyone, and when she felt like it, she would do so on her own terms. The king kept trying to explain that the marriage was for her own good, as the dangerous creature would take her away if she didn't marry. But Christine found all these reasons meaningless. She understood that her father was forcing her to marry the prince from the other kingdom, and he was making up excuses to do so. Seeing her father's actions, Christine left the palace, placed a doll in her room, and left the palace forever. When the king found out, he became even more frightened because Christine was now heading into the dense forest, and the monster would surely come for her. Christine rode on her horse, continuing her journey. On the way, she accidentally bumped into a poor boy named Adam, who was gathering fruits. As a result of the bump, Adam fell, injuring himself, and his fruits scattered. Christine, out of kindness, went to help Adam. After gathering all the fruits, Adam asked Christine if she was hungry. Christine replied with a yes, and began eating all the fruits Adam had. It looked like she hadn't eaten for months. Adam kept watching her, wondering where she was storing all that food, but in reality, Christine was extremely hungry. After finishing all the fruits, Christine prepared to leave. Before she left, Adam told her his name, but Christine just thanked him and quickly left. Adam then made his way through the forest path back to his family. His father and brothers were waiting for him. As soon as Adam arrived, his father asked, "Give me all the fruits?" However, Adam, feeling very disappointed, took out his blanket, which only contained a single fruit. He had given all the fruits to Christine. Adam and his brothers were deeply upset because those fruits were essential for their survival. They had worked hard to gather them, but now they were gone, taken by Christine. Adam's father was furious with him and scolded him. He then told his sons that they would go into the forest to find more fruits, and ordered Adam to stay at home in the meantime. Adam, unsure of what to do, sat by a fire, lost in his thoughts. He even found himself thinking about Christine, who seemed so kind and lovely. Suddenly, Adam began hearing strange noises around his house, noises that sounded like they came from a dangerous animal. Adam became scared and grabbed an iron rod to defend himself. In the process, a small ember from the fire fell onto his clothes. Despite his efforts to put it out, the fire kept spreading, and before he could stop it, the entire house was engulfed in flames. Though Adam managed to escape with his life, his foolishness had caused their home to burn down. Meanwhile, we see Princess Christine continuing her journey through the forest, riding on her horse. Suddenly, the terrifying sounds of the monster from the mountain echoed through the forest. This was the same creature that had come to take Christine away. Her horse, frightened by the noise, threw her off and ran away. Now, Christine was completely alone in the forest, running as fast as she could. But the monster surrounded her from all sides and captured her, taking her away into the depths of the forest. Meanwhile, after gathering fruits in the forest, Adam's father and his brothers returned home. They were shocked to find their house burned to the ground. It was their only home, and they had no place to live now. Adam told his father that the monster was responsible for the fire, claiming that it had destroyed their house. However, the truth was known only to Adam. As they were talking, Prince Frederick from the neighboring kingdom arrived. He was the prince who had been trying to force Christine into marriage. Frederick, along with his men, asked Adam and his family if they had seen any girl riding a horse. Adam quickly realized that the girl he had met in the forest was probably Princess Christine, and Frederick was looking for her. When Frederick questioned the family, no one knew anything. Adam, however, kept quiet, which made Frederick suspicious. Drawing his sword, Frederick pointed it at Adam, threatening to kill his entire family if he didn't reveal what he knew. In an attempt to protect his son, Adam's father stepped forward and told Frederick that his son was very naive and often saw monsters everywhere. Frederick's men started laughing at this, as they didn't believe in such creatures. Seeing this, Adam realized that they still considered him a child. Finally, Frederick decided to spare Adam. Before leaving, Adam asked Frederick what he intended to do with Princess Christine. Frederick, in a fit of anger, declared that he would marry Christine and take control of her entire kingdom. He further added that anyone who tried to stop him would be killed, but anyone who helped him would be richly rewarded. With that, Frederick and his men left. Adam's father, seeing no other option for survival, gave some money to his two sons, urging them to find Princess Christine and bring her back to claim the reward. This was their only hope. Adam, feeling left out and wanting to prove himself, asked his father where he should go and what work he could do. However, his father, in a fit of anger, told him that he wasn't going to stop him and that he could go wherever he wanted, but he was never to return. Adam had caused enough trouble already. Hurt by his father's words, Adam decided he would go after Christine too. He set off on a long journey with his two brothers. Along the way, while walking through the forest, Adam found a piece of a mirror. He immediately picked it up, though his brothers paid no attention to what he was doing. As Adam went further, he suddenly heard the cries of an old woman. Trying to alert his brothers, Adam suggested that someone might be in trouble, but they weren't interested. Adam, however, decided to go deeper into the forest on his own. Following the sound of the screams, Adam discovered an old witch trapped in the woods with a piece of wood lodged in her body. She was stuck and crying for help. Adam, being kind-hearted and compassionate, didn't hesitate to help her. He freed the witch, who was extremely grateful. She then asked Adam what he was doing in the dense forest. Adam explained that he was searching for Princess Christine, who had gone missing in the forest. The witch, wanting to repay Adam's kindness, offered to help him. Using her magical powers, she discovered that Princess Christine had been taken by a dangerous monster called the Mountain King. To save Christine, Adam would have to kill the Mountain King. The only way to do this was by finding a magical sword hidden in a large river. With this sword, Adam could defeat the monster and save Christine. Determined to save her, Adam was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, and he knew that finding the magical sword was the key to rescuing Princess Christine. Adam, eager to find the magical sword, asked the witch where he could find it. Using her magic, the witch created a map that showed the path to the river where the sword was hidden. Adam decided to follow the map, knowing that finding the sword was crucial, not only to save Princess Christine but also to prove his worth to his father and his family. Furthermore, Frederick had promised a great reward for anyone who helped find Christine, which would be vital for Adam's family's survival. Determined, Adam set off on his journey without making any mistakes this time. Meanwhile, in the kingdom, Christine's father learned that the Mountain King monster had kidnapped his daughter. Alarmed and terrified, he began preparing his army to rescue her. As Adam's brothers continued their journey, they came across a basket filled with golden apples. Unable to resist the temptation, they each took an apple and began eating. Slowly, they finished all the apples in the basket. But the moment they did, a group of beautiful girls suddenly appeared around them, leading the brothers away with them. The brothers, mesmerized, followed the girls without realizing what was happening. Meanwhile, Adam, following the map, reached a mountainous area where there was no clear path forward. But then, he noticed a golden apple on the ground. He picked it up and ate it, unaware that it would have the same effect on him. Soon, Adam began to feel dizzy and saw a cave ahead of him. He stumbled into the cave and kept walking until he reached an open area. To his surprise, he found his two brothers there, sitting and eating with the beautiful girls. Adam was invited to join them, and the group was having a great time. However, as Adam went to eat some of the food, he suddenly noticed something strange, what looked like bugs and insects crawling in the food. This unsettling sight made Adam realize that something was wrong. Adam, realizing that everything around him was a trick, began to notice the true nature of the situation. He saw that the beautiful lady's eyes were dark and sinister, and something felt wrong. To understand what was truly happening, Adam pretended to eat the golden apple, hoping to break the spell. As soon as he did, the illusion vanished, and he saw that the beautiful women were actually dangerous witches who lured people to their doom. Now fully aware of the deception, Adam quickly took his brothers and led them away from the witches. However, as they tried to escape, the witches began chasing them and attacked. But Adam managed to get his brothers out of the cave and back into safety. His brothers, now awake and realizing the truth, were shocked to hear that the witches had tricked them. Adam also explained to them that the Mountain King, the monster, had kidnapped Princess Christine. Adam warned them that even though they might think it was all just a tale, the harsh truth was that these things were real. With this new understanding, the three brothers decided to follow the magical map and continue their journey. Adam shared more details about the Mountain King, explaining that the monster only came out at night, and if sunlight touched its body, it would turn to stone. Meanwhile, Princess Christine, now conscious, found herself trapped in a large cave. She was terrified and confused, wondering where she had ended up. There was only one way out of the cave, but it was high up and difficult to reach. Soon, the Mountain King appeared, extending his hand to offer her food, bones from animals. Christine, afraid of angering the monster, pretended to eat the bones and lied, telling him how delicious the food was. Satisfied, the Mountain King left, but Christine realized she couldn't escape the cave on her own. Adam and his brothers continued their long journey, following the magical map. Eventually, they arrived in a village and entered a small tavern to get some food. To their surprise, Frederick and his men were also there, looking for Princess Christine. As Adam and his brothers sat at the table, they were studying the magical map, trying to figure out where the enchanted sword was hidden. Meanwhile, Frederick and his men, who were also searching for Princess Christine, soon realized that Adam had the map. Frederick approached Adam, offering him a large sum of gold coins in exchange for the map. Adam's brothers, tempted by the gold, urged him to hand over the map, but Adam was resolute. He didn't want Frederick to have it, knowing the dangers he would pose with it. With great courage, Adam threw his food in Frederick's face, refusing to give in. In retaliation, Frederick's men attacked Adam and his brothers, but in the ensuing chaos, Frederick accidentally stepped into the food of a very hungry man sitting at the table. This enraged the man, who, in his anger, picked up Frederick and threw him. Frederick was severely hurt, and taking advantage of the situation, Adam and his brothers escaped from the tavern. They rushed out and headed straight into the forest, with Frederick and his men in hot pursuit. Frederick was desperate to marry Princess Christine, and he would do anything, including killing, to achieve that. Adam and his brothers soon reached a large gorge with water at the bottom. Frederick and his men followed, ready for another confrontation. Realizing they had no other choice, Adam told his brothers they would have to jump. With great courage, the three brothers leapt from the edge of the gorge into the water below, narrowly escaping the clutches of Frederick and his men, who were unable to follow. Once they reached the other side, Adam's elder brother, still angry and frustrated, blamed Adam for the danger they were in, even though it was Adam who had saved their lives. The tension between Adam and his brothers grew, and in the heat of the moment, Adam and his elder brother got into a fight. Despite saving them, Adam couldn't escape the constant criticism and conflict from his brothers. As Adam and his brothers continued on their journey, the middle brother intervened during their argument and suggested they work together. Reluctantly, the three of them resumed their journey with Adam's magical map as their guide. While traveling through the jungle, Adam found a bear's pelt and decided to keep it, even though his brothers thought it was foolish. Adam, however, believed that collecting anything useful during their journey would help them survive, as they never knew when it would come in handy. Following the map, they soon entered a desolate and fog-covered area where visibility was nearly impossible. The brothers were scared, but Adam bravely pressed forward. However, the place became so terrifying that soon, Adam was separated from his brothers. While Adam continued to follow the map, his brothers were ambushed by Frederick and his men. Frederick demanded to know the whereabouts of Adam and the magical map. In an act of self-sacrifice, the brothers lied, telling Frederick that Adam had already died. Although they had their differences with Adam, they were willing to protect him at all costs. Meanwhile, Adam reached the river where the magical sword was hidden. Overjoyed, he dove into the water and found the sword. With the weapon in hand, he quickly made his way back to find his brothers. However, when he arrived, he saw that Frederick's men had captured them. Adam knew he had to act fast to save them. Frederick, now in possession of the map, was determined to continue his pursuit of Princess Christine, but Adam was ready for a confrontation. Without wasting any time, Adam donned the bear's pelt, wielded the magical sword, and used it to intimidate Frederick and his men. The ruse worked. Frederick and his men, believing they were facing a real bear, panicked and fled for their lives. Adam's plan had succeeded, and with his brothers freed, they could now move forward, their path to rescuing Princess Christine a little clearer. As Adam wore the bear costume, he couldn't see properly and ended up stumbling, causing the costume to come off. This immediately revealed his identity to Frederick and his men, who realized that Adam was still alive. Adam and his brothers were quickly bound, and Frederick demanded to know more about the Mountain King. Adam explained that the Mountain King was the one who had kidnapped Princess Christine, a huge and dangerous monster, and that it would be almost impossible to escape alive from his grasp. Adam, however, remained determined to rescue Christine. He questioned Frederick again about why he wanted to marry Christine. Frederick revealed that it wasn't Christine he was after, but her kingdom. He intended to marry her, take control of her kingdom, and once he had it, he would dispose of her. This revelation enraged Adam, who became furious with Frederick's greed and cruelty. Later that night, while Frederick and his men were dining, a terrifying scream echoed through the forest. It was the Mountain King, getting closer. Frederick and his men were so frightened that they fled, but the Mountain King attacked Adam and his brothers. They ran for their lives, but the monstrous creature captured one of Adam's brothers. The remaining two brothers managed to escape to a cave, but the Mountain King soon followed them, bringing along both Adam's brother and Frederick. Inside the cave, where Princess Christine had been held captive, Frederick tried to reassure Christine that he had come to rescue her. Christine, feeling a mix of emotions, was somewhat moved, but when Adam's brother regained consciousness, he revealed the truth to Christine. He told her that Frederick didn't love her, he was only after her kingdom and would have never had her best interests at heart. This shattered Christine's hopes and confirmed Adam's suspicions about Frederick's true intentions. Christine, realizing Frederick's true intentions, was enraged. She struck him with a bone fragment, knocking him unconscious. However, she was still wary of Adam's brother and asked him who he was. He revealed that he was Adam's brother, and at the mention of Adam's name, Christine's face brightened with a hopeful smile. She anxiously asked if Adam was coming to rescue them, to which Adam's brother confidently replied that no matter the situation, Adam would surely come to their rescue. Meanwhile, Adam and his older brother were navigating through the darkness, determined to rescue Christine and Adam's brother. They collected glowing insects in a jar to use as a torch to light their way. As they made their way through the dark forest, they eventually found the cave of the Mountain King. However, the cave was so vast and confusing that they couldn't immediately find the right path. After some time, Adam and his brother decided to choose a path and move forward, not wanting to waste any time. But suddenly, Adam's foot got caught in a trap, almost causing him to fall. Fortunately, his sword saved him just in time. As he looked around, he realized that the cave they had stumbled upon was the very one where Christine and his brother were held captive. After carefully using a rope, Adam managed to rescue both his brother and Christine. But as they made their way out, they were confronted by the Mountain King, who was lying asleep, his massive tail blocking their path. Adam quickly devised a plan to jump over the tail without waking the monster. One by one, they made their way across the tail, hoping the Mountain King wouldn't stir from his slumber. But when it was Frederick's turn, he was very scared. Instead of jumping, he fell on the monster's tail, which made the monster's eyes open. It saw everyone running and began chasing them. Adam, along with his two brothers and Christine, started moving towards the top of a high mountain. The dangerous Mountain King monster followed them and reached the top. Now, Adam had the magical sword and thought that he could defeat the monster with it. But as Adam charged toward the monster easily struck him and threw him far away. The sword also slipped from Adam's hand. Adam's two brothers tried to help by attacking the monster, but no attack was effective on the large Mountain King monster. It threw each of them away one by one. Just as the monster advanced to take their lives, suddenly its feet stopped moving because it was morning, and the sun's rays began to shine. Adam noticed this and realized that the Mountain King monster couldn't withstand the sunlight. He quickly took out a piece of a mirror, which he had picked up from the jungle path, and reflected the sunlight onto the monster. The monster began turning into stone. Slowly, the entire body of the monster transformed into stone, and in the next moment, it shattered completely, turning into rubble. So, Adam and his companions not only saved their lives but also defeated the world's largest monster. Frederick, who had been running through the jungle to save his life, came across the same witch. Upon seeing her, he immediately said, "How ugly you are," but he asked her for directions to the palace. The witch told him the way, but it was the wrong route. It led to a dangerous world, where Frederick was about to get stuck. Meanwhile, Adam, along with his two brothers, reached the king's palace, where they safely handed over Christine to the king. The king was very happy to see his daughter safe and sound, and Christine's parents thanked Adam and his brothers. After everything returned to normal, Adam returned to his father with his brothers. Adam's father hugged all three of his sons because they had accomplished a great task. He also apologized to Adam. Adam gave the money he had earned as a reward to his father, so they could all live a comfortable life. Together, as a family, they built a new home and lived there happily. Princess Christine and Adam became very good friends and often went to play together. They both really enjoyed horseback riding. Meanwhile, in the middle of the forest, we see Frederick, who is crying because the witch had given him the wrong directions. Instead of heading to the palace, he was now completely lost. Suddenly, the golden apple appeared before Frederick, and without thinking, he ate it. Immediately, beautiful ladies appeared around him, taking him away to another place. But the reality was that these beautiful women were actually dangerous witches who lured people in the forest to trick and devour them. This meant Frederick was about to face a very bad fate. And so, our story ends here.